Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have a Golden Bachelorette update. This is what I love about the Golden series is that the contestants all have kids that are adults. They're Gen Z, they're millennials, and they want to get out there and use TikTok and Instagram and get their story right. We've seen that with Pascal's daughters. Now we're seeing it with Chalk. So Chalk was an early front runner. All the way back a few months ago, right? Chalk emerges as the early front runner. Well, now he's made it all the way to hometowns, and his daughter, I guess, wanted to defend him or defend the narrative after what was seen on the last episode, which was they had a ceremony for Chalk's mom, which would have been Taylor's grandmother. That ceremony was, planting a tree. It was very nice and all of that. Some people, I think, were kind of negative, saying, oh, why would they do this, blah, 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 But, of course, everyone involved consents to it. Not a big deal. Either way, here's what Taylor had to say on the episode. I'll just play the 2-second clip.
And, when I look at my dad and when I look at myself in the mirror, I see so much of her that I know she'll always... Sorry.
So she breaks down. It's super sweet, right? I remember I commented this on the recap. I said, I just love to see when family members get emotional speaking the truth about how proud they are. You know what I mean? You love to see it. Such a natural thing for us to be a part of. Well, here's what Chalk's daughter Taylor had to say. Her TikTok iced__Tay. Here's what she had to say.
From the Golden Bachelorette, and I have been keeping quiet, but now that my dead grandmother is being brought into this, I'm also going to share my opinion since you guys want to share yours.
Good. You know what? Tell them to go F themselves.
I'm going to start by saying you guys see 5 to 10 minute clips of a very, very long day. And second, it would be really creepy if we brought Joan to my grandmother's funeral. We didn't. We invited her to be part of a 5 to 10 minute ceremony honoring her in nature, something so important to her.
They bought a tree and they planted it. Now, I did say I thought it was interesting that they had her do the scooping, but we know that there's more to the story.
Our family and our closest friends who are like family. I mean, we had over 25 people there, and these people were neurosurgeons. They owned hospice centers. They are good people who would not be my dad's closest friends if he was some creepy monster. That being said, I mean, my grandmother, she went to medical school back when women didn't really go to medical school, and she also had 5 children while doing that, then dedicated almost her entire career to serving third world countries, to helping after genocides, reuniting families and identifying bodies, and real life superhero work. So of course my dad was not his okay normal self, and it's gonna take time. But once again, to complain about the way people grieve and leave that online just shows a lot more about your character than it does my dad. And I'm so glad that he had Joan, someone who got what it was like to go through that grieving process.
Yeah, I mean, we literally watched Chalk have this real emotional conversation with Joan, right? Where he sits down on the bench, and before he explains, hey, my mom just passed, she knew that was happening, right? Clearly there was more conversations beforehand about that she was in hospice. So she knew that that's what this conversation was. If the Chalk and Joan conversation was on the normal Bachelor, you would just assume, all right, this person's sitting me down to get dumped. But Chalk goes, no, I got to go take care of family. I got to go be with family. Joan understood. I think she was just surprised he actually came back, because when she went home to take family with Gary's season, she didn't make it back. She was like, all right, no thanks. So this is actually such a good indicator to a possible successful relationship, because Chalk got away from, the cult-like formula that the show uses to fabricate love. Right? The show manufactures love by taking people away from their family, putting them in a different location, and they keeping them from sleeping too much and chalking them full of carbs and beer. You know what I mean? That'll lead to love in any case. So I think that speaks volumes to who Chalk is, but also that Joan was able to sort of navigate that with him having been
bond over, but that's
in that situation.
The hands that life had dealt at the time, and I think it's weird to judge that. Once again, my dad had nothing to gain from fame. I applied him, did not tell him. He has made his money. He has his friends. The fame is that doesn't do anything for him. He's just he went to find love. And when he found out it was going to be Joan, he was so excited and learned about her and was interested and intrigued, and they made a connection that was really obvious right off the bat. And then, like, to say, I mean, I will give you, he hogged the screen a little bit during the bowling date, but it's these guys' first time. Like, I don't know about all of them, but like, my dad has never watched reality TV. It's his first time living. Like, he's never done an open relationship. So I just think all of the comments are nasty when you think about the fact that you don't know these people. Like, you see such little clips, and it blows my mind. And obviously I'm fired up, and you're allowed to have your opinions. I would recommend, my personal opinion is, if you have these mean, nasty comments, instead of sending them to me and my dad and my extended family, maybe start a group chat with your friends. Yes. Just a thought. I'm fired up, but have a great day.
All right. So by the way, if that's Taylor fired up, I think she's such a lovely person, because she still came off so kind. Comment section had, of course, Bachelor alumni Susie said, "It's his first time living, period. Sending you love." Chalk hate, who could hate that sweetheart? Other people commented from the Bachelor world that they're an angel. I mean, there was, it's like, look, this is Taylor's first time probably dealing with being in the public eye. It sucks to have your good intentions analyzed in a way that would be analyzed by people that want to see fault in others. That just sucks. I can't explain what that is. I understand it from some of the hate that I've received, not to that extent, but I understand that there's just some people, no matter what you say or do, they're going to find, it's like, oh, you raised $1,000. It's like when Taylor Swift donates $1 million to the hurricane victims. Oh, she could have donated $10 million. It's just, you can't win with certain people. But good on her for saying, all right, you want to bring my grandmother into it? This is why, by the way, this is why I want to create the show Troll Patrol, because I would love to take Taylor, fly her out to one of these trolls and see what they say to her face. They would cower, because these are like spineless, subhuman commenters. And sadly, and by the way, we all have, like, technically speaking, some of these sort of haters and trolls that exist online, they are all like, they are our family members. And by that, I mean, we all have someone in our family that we probably don't even realize the type of hate and hurtful stuff that they post. There's so much undiagnosed mental health issues regarding social media. It's my generation as millennials. It's my parents' generation. It's Gen X. It's boomers. There are so many issues that people have with this dopamine drip, this morphine drip of kind of like trying to self-soothe with these sort of the weighted blanket of social media. And Taylor got to see it. That someone like, her dad who went on the show, she said she nominated him. He's successful. He doesn't need fame. It's one of those things. We watch the show Bachelor, and we see people that try to monetize, of course, and I don't blame them, monetize the influencer world, because, hey, why not? Who wouldn't want to, live that world? And that's fine. I have no judgment there. But these golden folks, they spent their whole life figuring out how to live before social media, before having to deal with all of that, and they were perfectly fine and dandy. So good on her. Stick up for your dad. Stick up for your grandma. And what we saw, like, as it played out, as we watched this, was, I mean, look, from what we've seen with Taylor, she's an absolute sweetheart. Bless her heart. Hey, if she's single, get her on Bachelor in Paradise. Come on. I've said this before about Golden Bachelor and Golden Bachelorette. I think they could do a better job of incorporating the kids of these contestants more often. I think Taylor and Pascal's daughter, I would like to see a world where they're maybe living at the mansion or attending events and helping their parents out in a way. I just think there's a synergy we're missing that could be very beneficial to the Golden Series that involves more family. We see the family when it gets down to hometowns. Maybe there needs to be another episode or two of the hometown vibes, because I think family is almost more important for Golden Bachelor than it would be for Bachelor, because it's like Bachelor, everyone's dad disapproves of the process, whatever. But Golden Bachelor, it's like, go get it, come on. It's like you're at the end of the race and everyone's rooting you on, and I want to know more about their stories. Let me know your thoughts. We may have some more Golden Bachelor kids joining the podcast. So I reached out to Taylor because I'd love to hear more from her. I haven't heard back from her yet. But if Taylor or Pascal's daughter or any other kids of the finalists want to speak and just share some love about their parents, I kind of feel like we all have a thirst for more. I think we live in a world where you just can't get enough of that grandparent wisdom. So tell us some stories. Call in. The Rush Hour podcast is twice daily. So if you want all of your entertainment and pop culture news, scan that QR code or just search The Rush Hour with Dave Neal and you'll find it. I got to go make the afternoon episode right now. So I'll be doing that and we'll see you later. Bye, everyone.